I'm Arya, and it turns out that my real parents are Hollywood stars. My mom was a famous screenwriter, and my dad is a pretty popular actor. And it just so happened that I was stolen in the maternity ward. My name and photo began to be in the news, and the best detectives were involved in the search. My kidnappers were afraid they would be found and dropped me off at the door of some house. I was raised by good people, Jerry and Eva. They weren't old then, and they didn't have children, so they left me behind and raised me like their own daughter. Everything changed when Eva got sick. The doctors gave her a terrible diagnosis of breast cancer. Jerry and I were desperate. She just began to fade before our eyes. One day, Eva called me to her place. "Arya, daughter, I have a confession to make before it's too late." "Mom, save your strength. There's nothing more important than your health right now." "Listen to me, baby. This is very important. I love you, and no matter what happens, you will always be my daughter." "What are you talking about? I don't understand." "Jerry and I aren't your birth parents, but we raised you as our daughter, and we're very proud of you, and we love you." My eyes just blurred. I've suspected something since I was a little girl. Mom and Dad have blue eyes and blonde hair. I was black-haired and had brown eyes. But I had heard that children don't always look like their children, and they gave me so much love that then all doubts fell away. My mother, or rather Eva, told me that I was a foundling, and that they decided to adopt me when they saw a lump wrapped in plaid under the door of their house. Also, Eva told me that my parents had been there 10 years before. I wanted to contact them, but Jerry forbade it. He was so reluctant to part with me. He was also against my mother telling me the truth. He was afraid I would get angry and not be able to forgive him. I listened to everything, hugged Eva, and walked out the door. There on the chair I saw Dad. He was sitting there, brooding and moody. "Dad, I love you very much, and you have nothing to worry about. I'm not mad. And thank you for raising me as your own daughter." Daddy hugged me, and I could see his face lighten up. It was as if a heavy weight had been lifted from his shoulders. I understood that Mom and Dad had done this out of love for me, but my real parents had suffered all these years too. They thought they had lost their daughter forever. So I decided that I would find them, no matter what. From the documents Eva had given me, I found out which maternity hospital I had been born, and then I opened the envelope, and my jaw dropped. There were newspaper clippings about the theft of a baby from a famous Hollywood couple. I saw the whole chronology of events. 20 years ago, a baby had been stolen from an expensive private clinic, and what caught my eye was proof that the baby was me. In the photo of the missing baby, I saw my favorite pink blanket. It said, "Star-shaped birthmark on left arm, forearm." I looked at my hand. My mother always said I was a special kid, and that's why, exactly, I'm marked by heaven. Stephen Outcliffe is a famous actor, a respected Hollywood figure, and the father of a stolen child. From the picture, a handsome man was looking at me, and next to me on the hospital bed sat a young, dark-haired, and white-skinned beauty, Gwendolyn Outcliffe, and that was my mother. It was clear to me now who I looked like. I had to judge the whole thing with my parents. Tonight, I told Jerry that I wanted to track down my parents. "But that doesn't mean I'll stop being your daughter. I love you very much. And then, Dad, maybe my father can help us pay for Mom's treatment. We just don't have the money for that, and he's a star."
"I don't know. Maybe we don't need to open old wounds anymore, Arya. It's been 20 years.
"I know, but I'm sure they're still waiting for me." There were so many questions in my head, I just couldn't imagine how I would come to my real parents, how I would tell them that I was their, stolen 20 years ago, daughter. I imagined how happy they would be, hugging me. I wanted to find out what kind of people they were, to get to know them better. I shuddered just thinking about it. A week later, after making inquiries, I packed for the difficult journey. During that time, I tried to find some information about my birth mother, but I couldn't find any. But about my father, a bunch of articles had been written. It turned out that now he had a new wife, also a famous Hollywood actress. But according to the latest reports, they have no children. I wrote letters to the agencies the father works with, but no one ever responded. It turned out not easy to find the phone number of a famous actor. Yeah, right. Like it's just in the phone book. Pfft. So I decided I would just have to show up at the agency office. I walked into the huge glass building. My palms were sweaty and clammy from worry. Here. I'm here. Now what? Walk up and just ask him. Hello. I'd like to see Stephen Outcliffe. The girls at the front desk kind of looked at each other weirdly and started giggling. Puzzled, I went on. I have a personal conversation with him. Could you get in touch with him? Young lady, that's impossible. If you want to give him a present, we will, but he doesn't give out autographs. No, you don't understand. I'm his daughter. Another daughter? How many of them does he have? The girls started laughing out loud. I, of course, did not like it. I don't understand. Don't you think you're being rude? You should go away. You're just another crook. We know why you're trying to contact him. What's going on here? I suddenly heard something behind me. I turned around and saw a very beautiful blonde woman. Her face was so familiar to me. Yeah, just another wrench who says she's Mr. Outcliffe's own daughter. There's nothing sacred about people. The woman stared at me and looked me over from head to toe, and then I remembered. She's my father's new wife, some aspiring actress. Oh yes, Emma Maurice. Young lady, I think you've got the wrong prey. Stephen's daughter died 20 years ago. What? But I'm his daughter, and I'm alive. Oh, girl, believe me. I know you might not have known this. It never even made the papers. But his newborn daughter was found dead. This can't be. I understand your shock, but you're not going to make it. You won't find any profit in this. I'm telling the truth. He's my real father. I was kidnapped when I was a baby. Girls, call security and throw this lunatic out. My eyes went black. I felt strong male arms drag me from both sides to the exit. A second later, I was on the street. I have to figure this out. I'm alive, and I fit that baby's description. I have to find my real mother. She'll know for sure if I'm her baby or not. I started coming to my father's agency building every day because I could not find out anything about the mother, no matter how hard I tried. And so the days went by, and finally I saw him. He got out of his car and headed for the entrance. I ran up to him. My heart was pounding like crazy. Mr. Outcliffe, I'm Arya. Ah, yes. Would you like a picture or an autograph? No, I want to talk to you. I think I'm your daughter. No, you're not. I'm sick of it. Do you know how many people like you there are already? You have no conscience, trying to profit from other people's grief. I'm telling the truth. Where's your first wife? If I'm her daughter, she'll understand that. How dare you, you trashy girl. He pushed me away with force. I fell and twisted my leg. There was so much anger and pain in his eyes. He turned and walked away. And I was still sitting on the ground, crying bitterly. It was so hard for me to find him. I wanted so badly to know my real parents. And I thought it was a miracle that they could help heal Eva. I don't remember how long I sat like that, but when I looked up at the man who approached me, I saw the sun had almost set. What are you still doing here? I don't know. Waiting for you. I just need to talk to you. Look, you're not getting any money from me, and you've got 10 minutes to explain to me. What makes you think you're my daughter anyway? He took me to my car and we got in. I'm 20 years old. That doesn't prove that you're her. My parents said that exactly 20 years ago I was dropped off at the door of their house.
And that doesn't prove anything. Do you know how many kids get dropped off in America?
I have a blanket that they wrapped me up in at the hospital. It's pink. It's got the initials S.O. on it. For a moment, he changed his face. He seemed to be remembering something.
What else?
Your new wife, Emma, said that your daughter is dead. Why do you think so?
Because in 20 years, no one has ever been able to find her. There were no leads. What else can you give me to prove it?
I have a birthmark on my arm, shaped like a star. And then my father went pale. He started gasping for air.
Oh my God. That can't be.
I'd like to know my real parents myself, even if it isn't you. And your wife?
She died. 5 years later, after the baby was stolen. Couldn't get over the grief. She just lost hope of finding our daughter.
Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry.
Show me your birthmark.
He saw that star on my hand. After that, my father became very thoughtful, and then he hugged me tight and cried.
I've been looking for you for so long, my baby girl. I wish Mom had lived to see this moment.
Since then, I've had 2 dads and a mom who I love very much. My dad paid for Eva's treatment, and she's on the mend. Now, though, I have to take turns living with them. Jerry and Eva will always be my parents who raised me. And Daddy started taking me everywhere, even on the red carpet. He officially announced my return. Except his wife isn't too happy about it. Since the day I met my real dad, my life has changed 180 degrees. Tell me, guys, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comment below. Don't forget to like it, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.